Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Judge. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am Judge Williams. Please mute yourselves. Everyone, please mute. All right, if you're driving, remember that this is an actual court proceeding. Even though we're on Zoom, you're required to be in a safe location and able to pay attention to this proceeding. As I stated earlier, I am Judge Melanie Williams. This is the Orca status final plea calendar as well as show cause. Today, we'll handle several matters, including arraigned cases, take pleas, and check status on aging cases. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney here today. All participants, this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means that every member of the public can log on and watch this particular proceeding if they wish to do so. I'm going to call the entire calendar. I'm going to ask the defense attorneys, please give me their announcements when I call the cases. If the state has any particular announcements regarding a null pros, please advise me at that time. If you require the services of the public defender's office, please do not wait until I call your name to start making that contact. Anybody from the public defender's office here today?
Yes.
Sir, please enter your appearance for me. Your name again?
Mike Rathball, RN.
Okay. Mr. Rafoff, is anyone here in the courtroom interested in the services of the public defender's office? All right. Are there applications here with us,
Yes.
Mr. Rafoff?
Yes.
All right. Please go ahead and start filling out that application. All of those on Zoom who wish to have the services of the public defender's office, please go ahead and send the email as instructed in the chat. You'll send that information and a member of the public defender's office will call you. Also, please change your name on the screen to your actual name instead of iPhone, Galaxy X. Please make it your actual name so that we know who's present here in court today. You risk an FTA if we don't know that you're here, all right? I'm going to begin with the Orca C status conference calendar. Christopher Eberhardt.
Here.
All right, Mr. Eberhardt, you have to turn on your camera. If we can't see you and identify you, it's as if you are not here. Do you wish to have the services of the public defender's office today?
What?
Yes, I do.
Eberhardt is my client. I'm Larry Kwong from the public.
We can't hear a thing you're saying. It's horrible feedback. I apologize. Please say it again. It sounds as if you might have a cool device on or something.
Is that better?
It's really not.
All right, let me try my last option here.
Mr. Korn, do you represent Mr. Eberhardt? Okay, and I'm gonna wait for your announcement. Let's see if you can figure that out. Good to see you, Mr. Korn.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's not ideal. Mr. Korn, what is the announcement for Mr. Eberhardt?
I do represent Mr. Eberhardt. I need to confer with the solicitor assigned to the case and see if we're going to be able to work something out.
All right, we'll come back to that case. Who from the state is assigned to that position?
Your Honor, that would be myself, Denise Riley.
Oh, it's good to see you, Ms. Riley. You haven't been with us for quite some time.
Yes.
Welcome back. All right, we'll put you and Mr. Korn in a breakout after we've called the calendar. All right.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Keywan Alls.
Here.
Mr. Alls, do you have an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is your attorney? And why can't we see you? We need to be able to see you. We must be able to see your face when you're speaking, okay? Thank you. Go ahead.
David Jones.
Is your attorney present on this Zoom conference?
He told me he will have 2 more Zoom conferences this morning. He's working 2 more other cases, but I gave him this Zoom call. He should be looking.
Please give your attorney a call. We'll come back to your case, all right? Percy Anderson.
Here, Judge.
I'm sorry, is someone speaking?
Yes. Good
Okay, Mr.
morning.
Anderson, you need to change your name to your actual name and not Motorola, all right? So that we can identify you. Mr. Anderson, do you have an attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And who is your attorney? Is your attorney present on this Zoom conference?
I'm not sure, but it's Tom Ford. I sent him the link.
From the public defender's office?
No.
ma'am.
No, Tom Ford is a private attorney.
I thought so. All right. Is Mr. Ford present on this Zoom conference? Please give your attorney a call, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Tanisha Baker. Tanisha Baker.
Good morning, Your Honor. Erica Marshall Story. I did receive,
Marshall Story, how are you?
I received, that's odd. I received some correspondence. I believe that case belongs to,
Marvin Arrington.
Arrington.
Yes, I see
and-
that. Mr. Arrington, is he on the screen?
Yes, good morning, Judge.
Oh,
How are
good.
you?
Okay. I was
There
about to
you
say,
are,
I
Mr.
think I
Arrington.
needed to send a Zoom link, and hadn't had a chance to do that. So yes.
I see Mr. Arrington. Mr. Arrington, what's the announcement for Ms. Baker's case?
Judge, I still don't have a copy of the police report of the incident report. They filed, I guess, a copy of the accusation, but I don't know how much I can prepare or do without a copy of the police report.
Okay, we'll come back to that case to discuss a more specific announcement. Please hold for me, Mr. Arrington. Sinan Bowman. Sinan Bowman. Curtis Brogdon.
Can you hear me, Your Honor? I'm here.
Who is on here?
Sinan Bowman. I'm sorry, my mic was on mute.
Okay, and please change your name. Everyone, please change your name from iPhone to your actual name. Mr. Bowman, are you represented by counsel?
Yeah, I have Mr. Steve Conway. He should be in here.
Do you see Mr. Cowan? Is he present on this Zoom conference?
Let me see. How do I see it? Participants?
I don't believe he's here. Please give your attorney a call. We'll come back to your position, okay? Thank
Okay.
you. Curtis Brogdon. Roger Bud.
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right.
Good morning.
Mr.
Good
Bud.
morning, Your Honor. Steve Weiner.
Okay.
Since
Mr.
we-
Weiner.
we have not heard from the state when we anticipated we might, and since we haven't, we're going ahead and ask this be put on a jury trial.
All right, please hold for me, Mr. Weiner. We'll come right back to your position. Let's see if there's something we can do regarding this case today, all right? Thank you.
We've been waiting.
Chastity Bird.
The phone works both ways.
Chastity Bird.
Yeah, she's here. That's my case.
All right, and the announcement, Mr. Raphael?
I need to discuss this case with the solicitor.
Okay, thank you. We'll come back to you. Mahogany Hill. Are you represented, Ms. Hill?
It's my case, so you're.
Okay, Mr. Same announcement, discuss with
Yes,
solicitor? All right, thank you. Joseph Latham. Joseph Latham. Joseph Latham. Adriana Martin. All right, do you represent it, Ms. Martin? No. Do you wish to have services in the public defender's office today? You do not? All right, we'll come back to you. My strong advice that you fill out that application and get some assistance. All right? Kamaya Martin.
Good morning, Your Honor. Wanda Gant for Kamaya Martin. She should be on the line, Your Honor, and I am requesting a jury trial in this matter, and I will submit a waiver of arraignment.
All right, we'll come back to that case. We'll see if there's something else we might be able to work out. Thank you, Ms. Gant. It's good to see you this morning. Kimberly McNeil.
I'm sorry.
Kimberly McNeil. Darius Mullen.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Present, Your Honor.
All right.
Javier Trejo with Mr. Mullen. I've been in touch with ASG Gutierrez, so I'm going to ask that we be placed in a breakout room. We pre-try this case before making an announcement.
All right. Thank
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll come back to that case. And I believe that the case of Randall Smallwood will be approved. Is Mr. Smallwood present? All right.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'm here also. He's completed the paperwork. I've sent it to
I have the
Ms.
paperwork.
Gutierrez.
Yes, I have it. We'll take that plea shortly. Thank you. Please hold.
Thank
All
you.
right, now I'm gonna call the Orca C show cause calendar. Portia Johnson. Portia Johnson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tom Ford. Got his call
Jonica
person.
Jones.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, you represent Miss Johnson or Miss Jones?
I'm sorry, Judge, I represent K1 Johnson.
Oh, we've called that position. All right. Can you give me the announcement, sir, for Mr. Allis's case?
Judge, I have filed an entry and a discovery request. I would like to get the discovery and then I will talk with the prosecutor about a resolution.
All right, we'll come back to that case. Please hold for me, Mr. Jones. Thank you.
Sure, Judge.
All right, Jonica Jones. Alex Malone. Alex Malone. Travarius Murray. Travarius. Who's speaking? Mr. Murray, you're present?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't see you. Is your camera on?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, now I see. Mr. Murray, are you represented by counsel?
No, ma'am.
Do you wish to have the services of the public defender's office?
No, ma'am.
It's my strong advice that you seek counsel regarding this. All right, you wish to represent yourself today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll come back to you. All right, Tykia Stiff. Tykia Stiff. Zacharias Tillman or Zacharias perhaps? Tillman?
Yeah, he just filled out an application. Let me look at it and.
Okay, holding for public defender's office. Thank you. Dimitri Whitaker. Dimitri Whitaker. All right, now we will call the Orca E status conference calendar. David Bolin.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Bolin, are you represented by counsel?
No, ma'am.
All right, it's my strong advice that you move forward with finding an attorney to assist you. We'll come back to you. All right. Madison Crisp.
Good morning, Your Honor. Travis Tal for Miss Crisp. I'm on my iPhone, so I don't know if she's on, but I believe she is. I'd like to announce that I was just hired and just turned in my entry of appearance and request for discovery, so I request a continuance.
All right, we'll come back to that case. Thank you. Please hold.
Okay. Your Honor, I do have another court case coming up, so.
All right, we'll do our best to get to you. All right, thank you. Please hold. Marion Davenport.
Good morning, Your Honor. I represent Marion Davenport. I filed my entry of appearance and polite discovery request yesterday, so I doubt they've responded to it as of yet. That was my bad. I overlooked filing that until yesterday, but I'll speak with the prosecutor. Who's the ASG on this case?
All right, we still are having a lot of problems hearing you, Mr. Korn. You sound really garbled. I'm assuming you're going to speak to the prosecutor regarding this case. All right, we'll come back to you shortly. I'm just trying to get through the entire calendar. Gerald Harriot.
Yes, Judge, that's my case, and he's being represented by the Public Defender's Office. We would like to request a jury trial for this case today, Judge.
Okay, we'll come back to that matter. Thank you. Erica Kyles.
Same announcement, Judge. She's been represented by the Public Defender's Office. We are requesting a jury trial for that case as well.
All right, thank you, Ms. Helen. Anthony Padmore.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have an attorney, Mr. Padmore? Do you wish to have services in the Public Defender's Office? All right, we'll see you shortly.
I'm sorry, Judge, Mr. Padmore was supposed to come back today to take a plea.
Oh, he's taking the plea. Thank you. Okay. Alfred Phillips. Alfred Phillips. I believe I saw Mr. Phillips earlier. All right. Lindia Pittman Powers. Ms. Pittman Powers.
Judge, that's my case. Scott Fortis for Miss Pittman Powers. We're going to be asking for another court date to another status. I'm relatively new to the case. I have engaged in negotiations with the solicitor. We're not there yet, but I am down, I think, a little bit of discovery that I need to email her about. So that's going to be our position. Absent that, we'll probably have motions and then probably a trial if we're unable to resolve it. But
All
before
right.
jury trial, I just wanted to get the
All right,
opportunity.
please hold. We'll be right back to your case. Thank you, Mr. Fortis. Elizabeth Randall.
Yeah, that's my case. She should be on Zoom. I talked to her this morning and gave her the connection.
And your
I'm here.
announcement, Mr. Rafa.
Yeah, I filed discovery and didn't get it. I'd like to be able to have discovery to discuss the case with my client.
Okay, please hold. We'll be back to that case. All right, the last calendar, I'm assuming that all parties on this final plea calendar are present today and available to take a plea. We have the case of Brian Bamberg.
Your Honor, Mr. Bamberg and I, following the calendar last month on the 16th, had pretty extensive discussions. He has the plea paperwork. My understanding at the time was that he was in the process of moving and had some internet connectivity issues. At this time, Judge, the state would ask that it be placed on a jury trial calendar. I firmly expect this to resolve with a plea based on my pretrial conversations, but at this point, the state would like him before the court to ensure that documents are completed and everything is done.
All right, thank you. We'll come back to that case. I appreciate that, Mr. Patrick. Samuel Benson.
Your Honor, I see him on the screen. He is present. He has submitted plea paperwork to your litigation manager. I believe we're ready to go forward at the court's discretion.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm here for Sam Benson, Your Honor. That's gonna be a plea this morning.
All right, thank you. Johnny Bevel.
Your Honor,
Same announcement, jury trial.
yes, Your Honor. I sent him plea paperwork to the only email address I could find associated with him. I have not received anything back. I believe your litigation manager is in the same position.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm assuming it's the same announcement. Is Mr. Merritt present?
Yeah.
You're present, ready to take a plea today, Mr. Merritt?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And Your Honor, if I may have one moment to speak with him, I've printed out plea paperwork. I don't have any from him, but
We'll be back to your calendar last, Mr. Patrick, so if you want to do that now, that will be ideal.
thank you, Judge.
All right, let's go to Mr. Toes. Mr. Toes has informed us he needs to leave shortly. The case of Madison Chris, ER 003437Y. Mr. Toe, you've advised the court that you were just recently hired. Who is the ASG assigned to this case?
I don't know.
Your Honor, which calendar?
I'm sorry, Orca E status. Position 2.
That would be myself, Your Honor, Ms. Riley.
All right, and there, I believe that Mr. Toe is saying that he has not yet received any discovery and was recently hired. How long of a reset do you both feel is appropriate to be able to resolve this case? And can we place it on another status conference calendar?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will have or has initial discovery on Odyssey. So as long as Mr. Tao has filed his entry of appearance, he should receive an email. That initial discovery will be ready for him. So
all right,
so it takes him to review it.
How much of a reset are you requesting, Mr. Tao?
How much can I have? 2 months, 6 weeks?
I mean, that's really up to you. We prefer to take care of cases as soon as possible.
2 weeks, I mean, 2 months then, please.
The next calendar that we could set you on for status will be November the 4th. Would that give you all sufficient time to perhaps be able to resolve this case in either a plea or saving it on a jury trial calendar?
I would prefer a December calendar, Your Honor.
Is there a December date, Ms. Strong?
I have to look for that because that's not, we
haven't generated the December dates at this time, Mr. Chow. So we're gonna place this case on the November 4th calendar, reset. If you
Okay.
need some time, we can revisit it then, but it's our hopes she'll be able to move forward towards resolution at that time. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor. At the same time? And
Yes, typically, yes, but you'll get another notice just as you received the one for today. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you,
And
Your Honor. May my client and I
Honor-
be excused?
Yes.
And Judge, I just had one question. I did file an entry for Ms. Crisp. Would he have to file a substitution with that entry of appearance?
I'm sure that sounds like what would have to be filed.
Okay, thank you,
Not if
Judge.
it-
You're,
I'm not sure.
Maybe
I don't think
not.
that's the
I'm not
case.
sure.
If it's a public defender, I don't need to do that.
I'm not sure. We're not gonna belabor that point, all right? Everyone,
Thank you.
here.
Your Honor, I apologize. The position 10 on the Orca e-status conference calendar was not called.
It's a null prize.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
I
good
didn't
day.
call it because I was just trying to get through. We'll announce it when we reconcile the calendar. I know that there are some private attorneys that need to go, so I was trying to get back to those cases first. All
Your Honor,
right?
speaking of which, briefly, Tom Ford for Percy Anderson. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm also in court like previous counsel. I don't think we resolved Mr. Anderson's case today respectfully. And I'm good with
All
any
right, give
future
me
date.
one moment, Mr. Ford, one moment. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
I'll
Honor.
go to you next. All right, Mr. Tao, I believe that's resolved all the issues related to Ms. Crisp's case. Is there anything
Thank you, Your Honor.
further that you can
That's
do?
all.
All right, we will see you
Have a
on
good day.
November 4th.
Thank you.
All right.
Percy Anderson.
One second, Mr. Ford.
I just got Judge pulled on me.
I
Sorry.
only have one brain, one and
I
one
know.
brain right.
I'm sorry. I heard it happen fast. I don't need to jump in there when I could.
Yes, okay, we'll take Mr. Ford, the case of Mr. Anderson. This case, is this your case as well, Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there an offer at this time?
There is. Would you like me to put it on the record? or-
You can just tell me. Yeah, just tell me. I'm happy to hear it.
Yes, please put the offer into the record.
Yes, Your Honor. For the DUI, less safe, it's 12 months to serve 24 hours. Credit for time served, the balance on probation, a $400 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction, an alcohol and drug evaluation, any treatment that is recommended. And he would attend 2 victim impact panels. The failure to maintain lane and headlight charges would be null pros. The hit and run will be 12 months to serve 24 hours concurrent to count 1, an additional $400 fine, and 40 hours of community service. The driving
Thank you.
without a license would be null pros.
Thank you, counsel. Your Honor, that sounds eminently reasonable. I would ask for 2 or 3 weeks to discuss the same with my client. We can be ready to roll next time we're before you, respectfully.
All right, 2 to 3 weeks. We don't have anything as early as that. Is there
Fine.
any way possible you believe that your client might be in a position to take that plea today, Mr. Ford?
It's, Your Honor, respectfully, it's not him, it's me. I've got a personal, my father may have broken his hip last night. I'm driving to Tennessee as soon as I get out of this court appearance this morning. So I can't juggle it respectfully.
All right. We will reset this calendar, what's one of my reset date options also? November 4th. We will reset this to the November 4th working status calendar. At which time you and your client will both appear, Mr. Ford.
Yes, Your Honor, you want us in person or virtually?
If you have a way to send us plea paperwork, I don't object to the virtual, but if it's gonna present any challenges, I'm gonna ask that you make.
It will. It
Okay.
will. We'll show up in person. I just know how things work. So yeah,
All
we'll
right,
show up
yes,
in person.
please show in person. All right, we will see you in person here on November the 4th. Thank you.
Which court are we in? I'm sorry.
It'll be
Which court?
G33 and you'll get a notice.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe
All
see
right.
you.
Be excused, Mr. Ford. Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's return to the case of Keywan Alls. Mr. Alls, is Mr. Alls and his, who represents Mr. Alls? Is Mr. Jones.
David Jones, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jones, and is this your case as well, Ms. Riley?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there an offer on this case?
Yes, Your Honor. It would be 12 months on probation, 4 anger management classes, to have no further violent or harassing contact with the victim, Jada Garnes.
All right, Mr. Jones, is that an offer your client is interested in taking? And do you believe he might want to take that plea today?
Judge, respectfully, I would need to look over the discovery first. I just filed my entry yesterday and my discovery request yesterday.
All right, so a short reset to November the 4th. Do you believe we could resolve it by then?
I think so, Your Honor.
All right, we will so reset that case to November the 4th, at which time you and your client should appear. If you can handle plea paperwork via Zoom, the court does not have a problem with you appearing that way. Otherwise, please plan to appear in person, all right?
I understand, Judge.
All right, thank you.
May we be excused?
Yes, you may be excused. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, now we're going to the case of Tanisha Baker. And Mr. Arrington, are you present? Is Mr. Arrington present? Okay.
Honor, he left a message in the chat that he lost connection and that he needs to be in court at 10 a.m.
I was trying to call him now. I see him still on the line. All right, we guess we have no choice but to come back to him. All right, we're on the case of Mr. Bowman.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bowman, is your attorney present now? I think it was Steve Cowan.
Yeah, Steve Cowan, he's working a murder trial right now with Judge Caruso on the 4th floor. So he won't be able to.
We'll come back to your case. Give us one moment. All right. I'm gonna sound for Mr. Arrington one more time to see if we can take care of that case now. All right. Doesn't look like we'll be able to. All right, let's go to Ms. Pittman Powers, Mr. Fortis.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and the announcement was that you're requesting a reset. Ms. Riley, is that Ms. Riley or is this Ms. Githier or Ms. Marshall Story?
Good morning, Your Honor. That is my case, Sarita Githier.
Good to see you. Good morning, Ms. Githier. What is there an offer on that case?
An offer was presented to Mr. Fortis.
All right,
That
Mr. Fortis, is your
is
client
correct.
interested in that offer at this time?
Not at this time, Judge. We need more negotiations, more discovery, and then we'll make a decision on the 4th. And
All
go
right, so
from
you're requesting a reset to the 4th as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the case will be so reset, at which time it's our hope that you'll be able to take a plea to resolve this matter. And again, same announcement, if you believe that you can take care of paperwork via Zoom and electronically, the court does not object. Otherwise, I'll expect you to appear in person, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice weekend.
Take care, Mr. Fortis, and you and your client are excused.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Mr. Arrington. Mr. Arrington, are you present? All right, still not present.
Yes, Your Honor, I am. About my apologies.
I'm sorry, say that again, Mr. Arrington?
Yes, I'm present, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Arrington, I'm trying to take care of your case now. I understand that you have another place to be. In Ms. Baker's case, I believe I wrote that you're still requesting discovery, have not yet received it. Do you and Ms. Marshall Story believe that we can resolve this case by the November 4th Orca status calendar?
Judge, I am hopeful. I did send her an email. I mean, based on the lack of a police report, I would imagine that we would be able to resolve it.
All right, so if we reset it to the November 4th calendar, do you believe that will be enough time for this case to be resolved? What I don't want is for us to keep resetting these if we can avoid it.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to hear from Assistant Solicitor Marshall Story, please, on that matter.
Ms. Marshall Story, do you believe we can resolve it by the 4th?
I would love to try to resolve this case, Your Honor. I did not know that Mr. Arrington did not have everything that he needed. He didn't let me know that until early this morning. So unfortunately, I have not had the opportunity to look and see what he may be missing. But as I did on the last date, would encourage him to opt into the e-filing and determine what paperwork has previously been filed with the court. But I will also check to see why a police report may not have been included. I just honestly don't know because I wasn't made aware in enough time to do so.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am, there are only
Before we
6
send that,
pages. There are only 6 pages on the
to
e-discovery.
November the 4th, then. It sounds like you guys are close. And perhaps there's just a few other pieces that might be missing such that we could resolve this. We will reset the case to the November 4th status conference calendar. It is my hope that Ms. Baker will be able to take a plea at this time and that the case will be resolved. Mr. Arrington, if your client will not be able to submit paperwork ahead of time, I would expect both of you to appear in person, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, very briefly, one last thing, Mr. Arrington, you do have the video though, correct?
No, ma'am.
Sounds like there's a lot of things that might be missing. All right.
I'll reach out to Mr. Arrington to try to figure out how he can
because the
find
police
these
report is.
items.
All right, let's keep moving. Please speak outside of this forum. All right,
Thank you,
take care,
Honor.
Ms. Harrington. You can be excused. Are there any private attorneys on the line that I have yet to address? And has everyone who wishes to have the services of the public defenders reached out to the public defender's office? All right, let's begin with our breakouts as requested. I believe, Mr. Korn, you requested a breakout with Ms. Riley for position 1, Christopher Eberhardt on the Orca C. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and hopefully you can hear me now.
Yes, much better. It's like night and day. Thank you, Mr. Korn. If you can go into a breakout with Ms. Riley, we'll try to pick some other positions to go to. And please just announce when you come back. Thank you.
And Judge, I'm so sorry. We're here for Kelvin Turner. May we be excused? We heard that case was null pros.
Yes, you can be excused. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you as well.
All right.
Your Honor, permission to approach your litigation manager.
All right, now let's.
You took the work on Mr. Merritt.
All right, we're gonna start taking please, but let me see if I can put as many people into the breakouts in the meantime. Mr. Raffoff, you requested breakouts for several positions.
8 and 9
On
on the
8
C
and 9.
status conference calendar.
All right, are those your cases, Ms. Githier? 8 and 9 on the Orca C status, or are those yours, Ms. Marshall Story?
They're mine, Your Honor, Erica Marshall Story.
All right, good morning again, Ms. Marshall Story. Mr. Raffoff is here in the courtroom with me. Perhaps the best way for him to do it is to give you a call, Mr. Raffoff. Could you give Ms. Marshall Story a call?
Yes.
That's fine, Mr. Raffoff. I can put my telephone number in you're in the courtroom. Should I send that to the litigation manager?
That would be ideal. And Mr. Raffoff, if you'd step into the hall perhaps.
And to whom, please?
You can give it to Ms. Strong. Or Ms. I'm sorry, Ms. Bolton, the C calendar.
Ms. Bolton, okay.
All right. All right, let's see. So Ms. Marshall Story will not be with us. Ms. Riley will not be with us. It's my hope that Ms. Githier is the one assigned to the plea, but it does not always work out that seamlessly.
Randall Smallwood is a plea, Your Honor.
Oh, that is ideal. Let's take the plea for Mr. Smallwood.
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. Steve Weiner, you asked me to hold on to see if we could resolve.
Oh, okay,
my
I'm
case.
sorry. I announced for private attorneys. I forgot that you were here, Mr. Weiner. I apologize. Mr. Weiner, who do you represent again?
Mr. Budd, Roger Budd.
All right, and you believe that you're requested a jury trial for that case?
Well, Judge, you asked that it could be resolved. We were offered diversion, and then the state withdrew diversion. And it's my understanding she spoke to the victim, and the victim had no problem with it. But I have not heard back from the state. So based,
I'm sorry, whose case is this? Who's assigned to Mr.
Ms. Stories.
Your Honor,
Marshall
yes,
Story.
this is my case.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry. Continue, Mr. Weiner.
No, just that, we were offered diversion. And then she said the diversion no longer existed. And so my understanding, she spoke to the victims and told them that she had no problems with the diversion. But I have not heard from the state. We're not entering a plea.
Story, would you speak briefly to Mr. Weiner to see if there's some resolution we might be able to reach today?
Your Honor, I don't believe that there will be. I have had an opportunity. I don't believe I was the one who offered diversion, as that program is still in the process of being revamped in our office. And I did have an opportunity to speak to the victim. And at this point in time, this is battery against a person who is 65 years or older and simple battery. And I'm unable to change the offer that was extended. I don't know that a breakout session today is going to make a difference. Perhaps if I can have some additional time, I can revisit this matter. But at this point, there's nothing that's changing today.
All right, we'll reset this case to the November 4th. It sounds like we might be able to reach a resolution. It's my
Judge,
hope.
I would just ask that if the state is not going to be able to offer diversion by that date, that they notify me ahead of time so we don't have to sit through the calendar again, if that's possible.
Your Honor, I don't think anybody here is trying to be difficult, but this process works both ways. And Mr. Weiner has made not one single phone call in order to discuss this case with me. He's only tried to send the victim to call me. So perhaps we can both agree, Mr. Weiner, that we should have a conversation, and whomever is able to make that call first with some relevant information should do so.
We're waiting, Judge.
All right, we'll reset this case to November 4th. I think you both know how to engage in meaningful discussions to reach a resolution. I don't think I need to give specifics there. It is my hope that we'll have an announcement regarding the resolution of this case at that time. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
So reset. And Mr. Weiner, you are free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And take care. Are there any other private attorneys on the Zoom conference that I have not yet addressed? All right, Ms. Marcia Story, I see Mr. Raffoff is leaving, so I believe he's about to give you a call. Let's take the of Mr. Smallwood. Mr. Smallwood.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And I'm back from Mr. Smallwood.
All right, one more time. I'm gonna make sure there are no other private attorneys that are present on this Zoom conference.
Your Honor, I had a question.
One second, Mr. Bowen. I'm sure we'll speak with you. Give me one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll get to everyone who's representing themselves shortly. All right, Mr. Smallwood.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna take your plea today. I have your plea paperwork, and Mr. Korn is here to represent you. Are you aware of your rights? You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and Mr. Korn is here to represent you. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Ms. Githia, if you would give me the state's offer as well as very briefly the factual basis supporting that offer.
Yes, Your Honor. The state expects the evidence to show that on September 28th, 2017, at 1:16 a.m., officers were dispatched to 5150 Oakley Industrial Boulevard in Fairburn, Georgia, in Fulton County for a video alarm call in which it was observed that defendant was on camera on site at private property. Officers arrived and they pulled the defendant's car over. Officers observed 6 gas cans that were red and yellow in color in the back seat. The superintendent of the property arrived on scene and confirmed that the 6 gas cans in the vehicle were from the construction site that belonged to the concrete company, and each can was worth $100 apiece. The defendant was arrested and charged with loitering and prowling and theft by taking for less than $1,500. The offer is 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, a theft prevention class, 40 hours of community service, and a stay away from 5150 Oakley Industrial Boulevard.
All right, thank you. Mr. Korn, was that your understanding of the offer, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, ID, and venue in this case?
That is our understanding of the offer, and we would so stipulate.
All right, thank you. Mr. Smallwood, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Thank you. Mrs. Smallwood, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with Mr. Corn's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone force or coerce you into taking a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that by taking the plea, you're giving up your right to any further court dates where you may have been able to present some evidence in your favor that would have resulted in the dismissal of these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're prepared to waive your right to go to court?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the requirements of the sentence that you're gonna have to complete 40 hours of community service. I do not believe you'll have to serve any additional jail time, however.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as for the charges of theft by taking and loitering by prowling, Mr. Smallwood, how do you plead?
Guilty, ma'am.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything further from either party as it pertains to Mr. Smallwood's case?
Nothing more, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
All right, hearing none, and as I've already received Mr. Smallwood's paperwork, you are now free and your case is closed, Mr. Smallwood. Best of luck to you, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Let's see, Ms. Givia, it is really my hope that one or two of these pleas on the final plea calendar might be yours as well.
I don't believe they are, Your Honor.
That was too much good luck rolling for that. All right. Yes.
Could I get into a private chat with Mr. Everhart? I have to convey to him his plea offer.
All right, I don't think that's a problem. If Mr. Everhart be placed in a breakout with Mr. Corn, and Ms. Riley has since returned. All right, Ms. Riley, let's see, are you assigned to any of the cases on the final plea calendar?
No, Your Honor, I believe those are Mr.
Oh,
Patrick.
all Mr. Patrick cases, okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct, okay. All right. Please hold. Mr. Patrick will be back with you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Raffach is here. It's out in the hallway. Ms. Helen, did you receive, or Mr. Corn, did you receive any applications such as you might have announcements regarding any of the people who wish to have your services today?
I have it, Your Honor, but I just have Ms. Kyles and Mr. Harriet online requesting their jury trials.
All right, we'll come back to those shortly.
Mr. Aberhart needs to click on the screen so he can go in the breakout room with Mr. Corn.
Awesome. All right. Let's work our way back down the case of.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you again. I'm at work and my phone is it won't hold a charge and it's about to die. And I was wondering if I could talk to attorney and see if I can have it resolved by November 4th, if that's okay.
All right, who's assigned to Mr. Bowen's case? Is it you, Ms. Riley? Or is it?
I'm sorry, which calendar is he?
I'm sorry, Orca E status, is it, I'm hoping it's either Ms. Githier or Ms. Riley. Because if it's Ms. Marshall's story, there'll be nothing I can do.
Boland, David Boland?
He's position 1.
Yes, he's mine, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Riley, Mr. Bowen would like to speak with you in a breakout. Do you have any objection to that? Mr. Bowen, if Ms. Riley agrees to that, I'm gonna ask you not to tell her any of your defenses. Again, you have a right to remain silent, and I don't want you to incriminate yourself. However, you could speak with her regarding the nature of the plea offer, okay?
Yes, ma'am. How do I go to the breakout room?
Or Your Honor, I'd be since he's on a cell phone, I'd be more than happy to put it on the record, the
All right, go ahead, whatever is faster. But if he, I'm assuming he may have questions regarding the terms. So, but go ahead and put the offer on, Ms. Riley.
12 months to serve 24 hours, the balance on probation, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service. You would have to complete an alcohol and drug evaluation in any treatment, complete risk reduction, and attend one victim impact panel. And that would be a plea to the driving under the influence less safe. The reckless driving merges, and the failure to maintain lane or improper lane change would be null pros.
All right, unfortunately, Mr. Boland, I can't explain to you what any of that means. So either you have to speak to an attorney regarding this offer. You could ask Ms. Riley some very limited questions about that particular offer. What I would suggest is that that's on its face sound like something you would be interested in doing. Does that please sound like something you want to take?
No, I was talking to attorney and they could help me. I just need a little bit more time.
All right, last time I believe you came, Mr. Bowen, you did not qualify for the services of the public defender's office. Was that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were supposed to come forward and hire an attorney, or you were gonna have to go forward pro se today. Was that correct?
Yes, ma'am. But I've been having financial trouble, man. I'm doing the best I can.
All right, what we'll do, Mr. Bowen, is I'm gonna put you on a bench trial calendar. What that means is that'll be your chance to really hire someone to come down here and help you deal with this. All right, our next bench trial calendar is, let's see, November the 18th. So you have until November the 18th to get someone to assist you with this, all right?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, take care, Mr. Bowen.
You too, ma'am.
All right, have a good day.
You too, ma'am.
All right, Anthony Padmore. Mr. Padmore, you do not wish to have the services of an attorney today? And you wish to, you're here to take a plea? Let's go ahead and do that. If you would come for, before I do that, is it this Ms. Riley's case or Ms. Githie's?
Mr. Padmore is not mine, Your Honor.
I'm praying he's Ms. Githie's.
He's
I
Miss,
believe he's
Miss
Miss
Marshall
Marshall's
Stories.
story.
All right.
However, Your Honor, one quick question, going back to Mr. Boland, for that bench trial calendar date, is that just for his attorney to appear? Because we would have an objection to a bench trial on a DUI offense. The state would.
Okay, well, at that, we're running out of options for resets here.
Okay.
So it's our hope that he'll be able to take a plea at that time. And if
Understood.
he can be reset to a different calendar at that point, I think it's the only way I could think of to bring that case to a head.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
I was saying, let's give you information on the plea. So that's what I was at. I was assuming that you solicited for Mr. Padmore. Oh. It's on that. Okay, Ms. Githia, you sure you're not trying to Mr. Padmore's case? The only reason I'm asking is we do have your signature on the plea and verdict form.
Mr. Padmore?
Anthony Allen Padmore. I believe he's position 6 on the E status.
Let me go through my notes.
She sent me the plea paperwork the last time he was in court, and he had it. He brought it in himself today, son. Okay, last time, yes.
Yes,
It's
I've
yours.
seen it.
All right, Ms. Githia, in case 20 CR 0031777Y, Mr. Padmore is charged with driving under the influence of alcohol, failure to maintain lane, improper lane change, or reckless driving with the offense date of April the 21st of 2019. Learn your privates of your rights to remain silent and also your right to an attorney, and you're choosing to proceed pro se today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Githia, if I can have the offer as well as the state, a little bit of the factual basis.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna pull it up right now. state expects the evidence to show that on April 21st, 2019, on near William Street in Fulton County, officers observed defendant driving his vehicle on the ramp and failed to maintain its lane. Excuse me. Officers also observed defendant weaving within and failing to maintain his lane on multiple occasions, and the officer conducted a traffic stop. Defendant the odor of alcoholic beverages was detected on defendant, and the officer also noticed his eyes were bloodshot and watery. And Mr. Padmore admitted that he was out and he had alcoholic beverage during the evening. And he did perform the field sobriety test.
All right.
Okay. The offer is for the DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, failure to maintain lane, and reckless driving, 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and treatment, and the risk reduction program.
All right, are any of those charges merging, Ms. Gutierrez? Or are you the same sentence to each charge?
It's the same sentence for each charge. The reckless will merge with the DUI.
Okay. All right, Mr. Padmore, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today for the limited purposes of taking the plea will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Thank you, Mr. Padmore. All right, do you agree with the facts as just stated by Ms. Gutierrez?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you agree that this occurred in Fulton County?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you agree that the correct defendant is identified, which would be you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol that would affect your ability to understand this proceeding at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you you understand that you have the right to an attorney, but you chose to proceed pro se?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand by taking this plea, you're waiving your right to a further court date where you might have been able to present any evidence in your favor?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're prepared to waive all rights you would have had to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the requirements as just explained by Ms. Gutierrez as part of your sentence?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charges I previously listed, Mr. Padmore, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. I believe we have your paperwork. Is there anything further, Ms. Gutierrez?
No, Your Honor. I would just ask if you could just make note that the reckless driving should merge with the DUI.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, I believe that will conclude Mr. Padmore's case. Once we've confirmed that all paperwork is correct, you'll be free to go, okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right. All right, let's come back. Let's see who back to take next. Mr. Corn, Mr. Corn, you've returned from that breakout, Mr. Everhart.
Yes, Your Honor, we will have a negotiated plea in this case. Mr. Everhart's back in the room as well. I'm awaiting the paperwork from Ms. Riley, and I will go over with Mr. Everhart and alert you when we're completed. And I will also send it back to Ms. Riley as well as I'm not sure who else.
All
Ms.
right.
Bolton.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Gant, are you still present on this Zoom conference?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Gant, please remind me of who you represent.
On Orca C status, position 14, Kamaya Martin.
All right. Is Ms. Martin present?
Yes, Your Honor, under the name K Martin.
All right. And you're announcing a jury trial. Who's the solicitor assigned to this case?
That is my case, Sarita Githiea.
All right, Ms. Goodyear, what is is there an offer from the state at this time?
Yes, it was an offer that was given to Ms. Gant.
All right, will you put that up onto the record?
Yes, it is 12 months probation, 16 hours of parenting classes, and the balance is probated.
All right, and Ms. Gant, your client is not interested in taking that plea to resolve this case today?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and you're requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor, and I will waive arraignment.
All right, we will reset this case for the notice to a division judge. All
Thank
right.
you, Your Honor. May I and Ms. Martin be excused?
Yes, you may, if that concludes your business. Thank
Yes,
you.
Your Honor. Thank you.
Is that another Ms. Martin? Yes. There's two, not you. Please hold, Ms. Martin. All right, Ms. Helen, the position Gerald Harriet, same announcement. Is that your, who's assigned to position 4 on Orca East status? Ms. Raleigh, if you're speaking, you're muted.
Sorry, I thought I came off. That would be me. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, will you please put the offers onto the record?
Certainly.
Case for position for the case of Gerald Harriet, 20 CR 003604Y. If you put that offer onto the record.
Certainly, Your Honor. It would be for the DUI less safe, 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served, the balance on probation, a $400 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction, an alcohol and drug evaluation, any treatment that is recommended, to attend 1 victim impact panel. The other charges would be no pros.
All right, and Ms. Helen, that is not an offer that your client is interested in taking at this time?
No, Judge, Mr. Harriet would like to request a jury trial for this case.
All right, and you do not believe that we might be able to reach a resolution at a further Orca calendar?
No, Your Honor, we're going to request it for a jury trial.
All right, the case will be so reset to a division judge. And Mr. Harriet is free to go at this time.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, in the case of Erica Kyles, 20 CR 003044Y, in which defendant is charged with DUI less safe and possession of open alcohol container. Who's assigned to this? Is this your case as well, Ms. Riley? No, Ms. Marshall.
Yes.
Or is it Ms. Goodyear?
It's Ms. Marshall's story.
Your
Position
Honor.
5 on Orca E.
It's position, what was that? 5?
Five on Orca Eve, the case of Erica Kyles. Ms. Marshall, will you please put the state's offer onto the record if there is one?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer is 12 months to serve 24 hours, the balance being probated. We'd also request a defensive driving class, or the risk reduction class, I should specifically say, 40 hours of community service, along with a $300 fine and 1 victim impact panel.
All
And
right.
no process the possession of our open alcohol container case.
All right, Ms. Helen, again, that's not an offer that your client is interested in taking at this time.
No, Judge, she's not. We're going to go ahead and request that jury trial, please.
All right, and there's no hope that we might be able to resolve it at a future Orca status calendar.
No,
Yes.
Judge.
All right. We will so reset this case for the notice to a division judge. And your client is free to go, Ms. Helen. Does that conclude your business?
It does, Your Honor. Am I free to go as well?
Yes, you are. Take care.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, we had several other positions in which the public, I'm sorry, the position that Mr. Raffoff and Ms. Marshall Story spoke about. Are there any announcement regarding those cases?
Yes, Your Honor. I am authorized by the story to approach the bench on number 8.
Okay,
That would be Chastity Bird.
all right. Please do so.
All right.
And Your Honor, I'm aware of the conversation, so I don't have to be included.
All right, I appreciate that because I don't know how we would include you at this time.
Okay,
Before we do that, though, is there an announcement on position 9, Ms. Mahogany Hill? Since we need to speak privately about position 8.
I need to talk. Yes, I need to talk with her.
Okay.
And I did talk, I believe I talked with Ms. Story about this case.
Yes, we did talk briefly. We talked about the discovery and you
Oh, yes,
able
I'm
to
sorry, Your Honor.
access it.
I need to get the discovery. I did file on 9/29. And so we would ask for a reset to the November calendar so I can go over the discovery with Miss.
Okay, we will so reset the case of Mahogany Hill, position 9 to November the 4th for further development, and hopefully a plea at that time. Is Ms. Hill on Zoom or is Ms. Hill present?
She's present.
All right, Ms. Hill, you are free to go. Your case is reset to November the 4th, all right?
Your Honor, if I could she stay till I talk to her?
Okay, your attorney needs to speak with you, so please wait for your attorney to speak with you. I believe I'm aware of the situation in position 8. I remember that case well.
Okay.
But please still approach. I'm aware, I think I know the situation in Ms. Bird's case. I believe we spoke about it last time. Was the information that the family was going to provide ever received by you, Ms. Marshall?
No, not, but that's one of the problems. Now, we got a situation here where the parents exasperated. Can I approach? I don't
Yeah,
want
I don't know. You can come.
Your Honor, your mic is muted.
All right, based on the information presented to me today and combined with the last hearing, I did not get to hear from Ms. Marshall's story, but I believe I'm aware of the state's position in this case. I'm gonna reset this case to November the 4th. I'm not sure if we'll see a lot of development between now and then, but I am hopeful based upon information received by council. So we'll continue to check the status of Ms. Bird's case and we'll reset it until that time. Mr. Ralphoff, do you need to speak with your client or would you?
I need to give them my office email so they can see
Okay,
the documents.
Ms. Bird, if you would wait, once Mr. Ralphoff dismisses you, you're free to go. All right? All right. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have a problem with you going to the restroom. All right.
Your Honor, if I may make an announcement, we're gonna have a negotiated plea on Mr. Everhart, so I'll need a breakout room for him, but before I do that,
I thought that was already happening, Mr. Corn, no?
well, I just got the paperwork and we have to go over the paperwork with him.
Okay, if we could do that now, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mr. Davenport, number 3 on the status conference calendar. He's been waiting very patiently and he probably didn't hear my announcement before since my microphone wasn't working then. But I just filed an entry of appearance and demands for discovery yesterday. Obviously, I haven't received anything yet. I would ask that this case be reset so that we can obtain that information and begin negotiations in earnest.
All right, I believe I remember Mr. Davenport's case from last time, and it was our hope we were gonna be able to resolve it today. Mr. Corn, you said you just did your appearance yesterday?
I did, and I overlooked it. I have another client named Davenport, and I literally just thought it was that guy.
All right, we're continuing to kick the can on these cases. Mr.
And I
Davenport,
apologize,
your
that was
case,
my fault.
Mr. Davenport, your case will be reset to November the 4th. Please stay in touch with your attorney. It's our hope we'll be able to resolve your case at that time, all right? All right, take care, Mr. Davenport.
Thank you, and if I could get a breakout room with Mr. Everhart, we will get this paperwork done and get this case
All
resolved.
right, Mr. Corn could go into a breakout with Mr. Davenport. Let's see if we can work our way down.
Mr. Everhart.
All right, Mr. Everhart. Let's see if we can work our way down the Orca's East status and see who's still left one there. The case of Alfred Phillips. Mr. Phillips is not present. Randall
Good
Elizabeth.
afternoon, Judge. I'm sorry, Judge. I'm here and Mr. Phillips was on a second ago. Mazi Mazloom for Mr. Phillips. Judge, we're negotiating this case. I expect it to be a plea at some point.
All right, whose case is this for the state?
I'm here, John.
Is this Miss Marshall Story? Miss Githia? It's Orca East status, position 7.
Miss Marshall Stories.
Ms. Marshall Story, is there an offer you could put onto the record for us?
This is position number 7. I'm
Yes,
sorry, I
ma'am.
missed, was that C or E?
7 on E, Evan and Edward.
Your Honor, I don't have an offer that I can put on the record at this time. I'm happy to talk with counsel. Are you still in need of discovery? I believe you should have everything.
Unless there's video, I have all the reports and everything else in discovery.
Would you be
Okay.
willing to speak with Ms. Marshall Story, sir?
Absolutely.
All right, if those two could be placed in a breakout.
Thank you.
We can discuss this matter and maybe get an announcement. Thank you both.
Thank you.
All right, Elizabeth Randall. No, Elizabeth Randall. Oh, I see Ms. Randall on the Zoom conference. Ms. Randall, do you have an attorney? I believe you do. Oh, Mr. Trejo represents you. Mr. Trejo, you're muted. And the announcement was that you don't believe we can resolve this today.
Your Honor, I represent Darius Mullen, who I'm waiting to be placed in a breakout with Ms. Githia.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, with Miss Randall, Mr. Raffoff is representing her, and
That's
I
correct.
say that he needed
Yeah.
some discovery.
Okay, we'll come back to that one. One more second, Ms. Randall. If Mr. Trejo could be placed in the breakout, Ms. Githia, hopefully we'll be able to keep moving. And then we'll go to Mr. Patrick's calendar, so hopefully we can take care of that. Okay, Mr. Raffoff is not here. We'll come back. You wasn't aware about where? Do I have the authority to give you? I don't know. I don't know. That's a TDS thing. And the solicitor would have had to agree with it.
So I remember being in that spot. I want to put up the big yard so I can do a first or second round draft. That's what everybody's thinking. So his job is to convince those older guys this is the right way to do it. They're going to make it next game. And good news is they are 2-0 at Scott Stadium this year, hoping to keep it going this weekend. Clemson at Boston College also going down in Boston this week. Clemson has had a crazy couple of weeks, 2 huge wins. Boston College, of course, coming up with that big win over Louisville this past weekend. But according to FBI, the Tigers 93.7% chance to beat the Eagles this weekend on their home turf. They are saying there still is a chance for BC. And a big reason for that little chance is because, of course, Zay Flowers. He's arguably one of the best receivers in the country, certainly in the ACC, and I mean, that's a lot of number ones there, Eddie. Down with receptions, yards, touchdowns, first down receptions, you name it. Zay Flowers, number 4. Okay,
Mr. Bowman. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was speaking to you and I was muted. Your case is gonna be reset to the November 4th calendar, at which time your attorney is required to appear. Please let him know, all right? You're muted as well.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm sorry, I apologize. Your case will be so reset and you're free to go, all right?
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Curtis Brogdon, is Mr. Brogdon now with us? No. Joseph Latham?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Announcement from last time that position 6 it was a possible out of state incarceration. So I was.
Oh, that's right. And the state was requesting the FTA. Okay. So he's more than likely not ever gonna be there. We'll probably have to do something with that.
You said further notice.
Unfortunately. Mr. Latham is not here with us. Is Ms. McNeil here at this time? I am. Okay, Ms. McNeil. Were you present earlier? All right, and do you have an attorney? You wish to represent yourself? Okay. I don't believe, unless that's Ms. Riley's case, we'll have to come back to it. Ms. Riley, do you represent, is it not represent, is this your case?
Sorry, it is not, Your Honor.
Okay, there's nothing we can do right now. Both other ASGs are gone. We'll have to come back to that case. All right, the case of Adriana Martin. Ms. Martin, is that your case, Ms. Riley?
Which position is she, Your Honor?
13 or Orca C?
No, she is not.
All right, unfortunately, we can't take either of those. We'll have to come back. You just called my name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Adriana Martin. Ms. Martin, you're asking for the services of the Public Defender's Office now? We can't address that case now anyway, so it's not a big rush.
Okay.
Neither, she qualified?
Qualified.
Okay, I'll wait for the announcement from you, Mr. Raffo.
We request a reset till November 4th.
That's reasonable, seeing how she just applied today. So Ms. Martin's case will be reset to the November 4th calendar. And Ms. Martin is free to go after providing any information to Mr. Raffo. All right, Ms. McNeil, you can just have a seat. There's no one to assist you yet. All right, let's go to the Orca final plea calendar. That's Mr. Patrick's calendar. I know that you spoke with position one, Mr. Patrick. Is Mr. Brian Bamberg present? He is not. We will reset that one to a jury trial calendar as requested.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Samuel Benson, is Mr. Benson present? I think Mr. Benson is on the screen.
He is, Your Honor, and he's represented by Mr. Parker Hicks.
All right,
Yes,
let's
Your
go
Honor.
ahead
We're
and take
here.
that. Let's go ahead and take that plea. I believe I have, did I get the plea paperwork? Is the paperwork in?
So I submitted on our last date, plea sheet signed by myself with Mr. Benson's permission. We rescheduled to get him here in person. I'm working on getting his signature right now. But if the court's okay, we can go ahead and take the Zoom plea and we'll submit the plea sheet here in a minute.
That's fine. We'll take the plea. All right, Mr. Benson, your case is 22 CR 002727A, in which you're charged with hunting without permission with the offense date of January the 10th of 2021. Do you understand your rights here today? You're muted. I just need to hear yes or no.
You're on mute, Mr. Benson.
Still muted.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Patrick. If you'll give us the state's offer as well as very briefly the factual basis in this case.
Yes, Your Honor. At trial, the state would prove that on the aforementioned date at 33 degrees, 3 minutes, 34.45 seconds north, 84 degrees, 15 minutes, 37.93 seconds west. The nearest location being the Home Mission Board in North Point Church, located here within the political, jurisdictional, and geographical confines of Fulton County. Mr. Benton was hunting without having first obtained permission on that property. Your Honor, that is a misdemeanor charge, and the location is wholly within Fulton County, giving this court proper jurisdiction and venue. In resolution to this matter, the state has extended the following negotiated plea offer: payment of as to the hunting without permission, payment of a fine of $350 plus all applicable surcharges and court costs. Your Honor, it's my understanding that Mr. Benson, he presented arguments in mitigation, which is the reason for the reduction of the statutory fine. Mr. Hicks, does your client stipulate to jurisdiction, venue, and a factual basis?
Yep, we do.
Is that your understanding of the negotiated plea offer?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, that is the state's case.
All right, thank you. Thank you for those stipulations. I'm gonna ask your client some questions, Mr. Hicks, but one question out of practicality: how will your client pay that $350 fine? There's really no way to, is there a way to pay it online? There isn't a way to pay it online to my knowledge. You'll have to come down to the courthouse pretty much today to make that payment. Is he able to do that?
Mr. Benson, I'll ask you that question.
You're muted, sir. We've lost you again, Mr. Benson.
Eric, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now. Thank you.
I'm actually out of town, but I can get someone to bring the payment to you.
All right, you'll need to come to the cashier's office here in the Fulton County Courthouse. That's the only way I can think of to take care of that. All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure you're voluntarily taking the plea to the charge of hunting without permission, okay, Mr. Benson?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney, Mr. Parker Hicks' representation?
Yes.
Did anyone force or coerce you into taking a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand you'll have no further court dates regarding this charge?
Nope.
And you're prepared to waive all your rights to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes.
All right, as to the charge of hunting without permission, Mr. Benson, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Is there anything further from either the state or the defense as it pertains to Mr. Benson's case?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right, otherwise this case is now closed. Mr. Benson, please make arrangements to make your payment as expeditiously as possible, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'll email that plea sheet as soon as we have it. That's all I have, Your Honor. May be excused.
Yes, you may. Take care. Have a good afternoon. All right. If Mr. Trejo could be placed in that breakout with Mr. Mullins, I believe that's what he's requesting while we go to the next position. The position 3 on the Orca C final plea, Johnny Bevel.
Your Honor, I emailed Mr. Bevel plea paperwork. I have had no contact with Mr. Bevel. I would request that it be placed on a jury trial calendar. He has not waived any of his rights. Short of that, I don't see
I agree, Mr. Patrick. The case will be reset further notice to the jury trial calendar. As we've reached the final plea calendar, there's nowhere further, I believe, for us to send that particular case. If Mr. Phillips could be placed in a breakout as well with Mr. Masloom, I appreciate that. The final case on the Orca C final plea calendar is the case of John Merritt.
Your Honor, Mr. Merritt is present. He has filled out the plea paperwork. I believe Your Honor has it. We're ready to enter the plea at this time.
All right, and Mr. Merritt, you understand you have a right to an attorney today, and you're choosing to represent yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you choose to represent yourself, I'm expecting you to have knowledge of the law and how taking a plea today would affect you. Do you feel comfortable to move forward with that? Or would you prefer a reset such that you could obtain counsel? All right. If you'd approach, let's get ready to take your plea. Mr. Patrick, if you put on the state's case for case 22 CR 0021710A, in which defendant John Merritt is charged with hunting without permission and hunting over bait, each with the offense date of December the 3rd of 2021.
Yes, Your Honor. On the aforementioned date at 33 degrees, 44 minutes, 45.80 seconds north, 84 degrees, 26 minutes, 32.89 seconds west, Mr. Merritt was hunting on property that belonged to Westview Cemetery, Judge. That is a area wholly within the political, jurisdictional, and geographical confines of Fulton County. Hunting without permission and hunting over bait are both misdemeanor offenses, giving this court proper jurisdiction and venue. Your Honor, the state has extended the following negotiated plea offer as to count 1, hunting without permission, and as to count 2, hunting over bait. Each would carry a $250 fine. Your Honor, after speaking with Mr. Merritt, there was, as to the hunting without permission, he offered facts and mitigation. Essentially, he was over a property line from property that he had been previously given permission to hunt. Based on that, the state offered a reduced fine as to the hunting without permission. Furthermore, Judge, as to the hunting over bait, in the state of Georgia, it is permissive for a hunter to hunt any animal other than bear over bait, so long as they have landowner permission. Based on the idiosyncrasies of Georgia law when coupled with hunting with and without permission, that is the foundation of the reduction in that fine as well, Your Honor. Mr. Merritt, I presented the plea paperwork to Mr. Merritt. I ensured that he had no questions, though I did not provide him legal advice. I believe he understands his rights and what he is giving up. I believe he also understands any potential collateral consequences. As such, he has requested to enter the plea under the no low contendere provisions, though the state does not extend that as an offer. The state also recognizes the Georgia law that if it's available, he is allowed to use it, so the state offers no objection.
All right, I will allow Mr. Merritt to take a no low plea today. Mr. Merritt, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today for the limited purpose of taking this plea will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
You understood that you have a right to an attorney today, but you chose to plead per se,
Yes, ma'am.
and you feel comfortable such that you understand the implications of this plea and wish to move forward.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand by taking this plea, you will have no further court dates,
Yes, ma'am.
And you are waiving your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you're required to pay a $500 fine today.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as the charges of hunting without permission and hunting over bait, how do you plead?
No low.
I'm sorry?
No low.
All right, I accept your no low plea. I believe that will conclude your case unless there's anything further from Mr. Patrick.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
All right, I expect you to walk. I can't direct you there, but in this building, there's somewhere for you to take care of that fine, all right? I believe it's called the cashier's office, okay?
Can I just ask somebody, because it took me forever to find this room.
I'm sure it did. It's not the easiest room to find. And I can't even begin to tell you how to get back over there, but please do your best, Ms. Merritt. Work your way over there and make your fee. And after you do so, your case will be closed, all right?
How do I tell them what I pay?
He will need a form, I believe, because this is not yet loaded.
I haven't.
Yeah. They'll give you something to take there. Give this.
Okay, so just hang out. Yes, ma'am.
All right, once you've done that, once you've gotten it and you start heading that way, that'll be the end of your case.
And
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Merritt. We don't want to see you back here. Mr. Patrick, does that conclude your business in court today?
it does, Judge. The Department of Natural Resources business before your court is complete. May
You may,
this assistant solicitor at least be dismissed.
yes, after taking a donut, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care, have a good day. All those who don't come to party with us in person don't get any donuts.
I appreciate that, Judge. Thank you.
All right.
To be
All right.
fair, I've had enough donuts in my life.
All right, did everyone get into the breakout that they needed to get into? I saw several requests. Mr. Maslow, did you get into the breakout with your client?
Yes, Judge, I did. We've worked this case out, Judge. If we could get a plea date so I can go over the paperwork with Mr. Phillips.
Okay, most typical final plea dates are in person, unless we believe that you're gonna be able to get the paperwork to us ahead of time, such that you both appear by Zoom. Do you believe that you'll be able to do that, Mr. Maslow?
Judge, I believe Miss Marshall Story said she could get the paperwork to me, and then I can go over it with the client. We could possibly do it via Zoom at your convenience.
Okay, this is our Orca E. November 4th. All right, we'll place you on a status calendar, Mr. Maslow. It'll be the November 4th as well.
9 o'clock, Judge?
Yes, yes, indeed. Unless you receive otherwise, that is the time that you should appear. And otherwise, you and your client are both free to go, Mr. Maslow.
Thank you, Judge. And will the Zoom link be sent to us?
However you receive this notice, it'll be the same way, but I will tell you, it's the same link every time.
Okay.
So
All
if you
right.
are able to pull up this same email, you can log back on that way, all right?
All right. Thank you, Judge, so much. Have a
All
great
right, take care. Have a good day. Mr. Raffoff, can I have your announcement for Elizabeth Randall's case? Position 9 on the Orca E status conference calendar.
She's on Zoom.
Yeah, your client is here on Zoom. Is there an announcement for that case?
She wanted to go to the jury trial calendar.
She wants to go to jury trial calendar.
Yeah.
You don't believe we'll be able to resolve that at a plea or at a different Orca calendar, Mr. Raffoff?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And you, is there an offer at this time on this case? Is this Ms. Marshall Story's case?
This
Position
is
9?
my case, Your Honor.
Is there an offer at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Will
As,
you- will you
as
put
to
on the
count-
record for me? Thank
yes.
you.
As to count 1,
Yeah.
DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served, the balance probated, a $600 fine, 60 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and treatment, risk reduction, and 1 victim impact panel. Count 2, the reckless driving would merge. Count 3, the hit and run is 12 months probation, consecutive to count 1 and a $500 fine. And counts 4 through 7 will be null pros.
All right, and your client is not interested in taking that offer.
Is Miss Randall still on?
Ms. Randall is still on. Ms. Randall?
You've instructed me to ask for a jury trial?
Ms. Randall, your client, your attorney is speaking with you. All right. I don't know what's happening. We'll come back to that. Hopefully Ms. Randall will reappear. Think we've done all we could temporarily do on the status. Let's move to the show cause. I had that Mr. Tillman was holding for the public defender.
Right, that's, I'm sorry,
Did he qualify, Mr. Ralph?
does not qualify.
All right. Is Mr. Tillman still present? Okay, Mr. Tillman, your case is 19 CR 006960F. You're charged with simple assault, family violence, reckless conduct, and obstruction, each with the offense date of July the 7th of 2019. I've been informed that you do not qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office. It is my advice that you seek counsel regarding this case. I believe you failed to appear previously. Is that correct, Mr. Tillman?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What we don't want is that you continue to not show up to court. You are here today. Whose case is this for the state?
Mine, Your Honor. Sarita Kadia.
Put the offer onto the record that if there is one at this time.
The offer at this time is 12 months to serve.
All right. So Mr. Tillman, I'm gonna reset your case in November the 4th. You do not qualify for the Public Defender's Office's services. However, you may be qualified for other legal aid type programs. It's my strong advice that you let them know that there is an offer on your case, but you need some assistance to negotiate it. All right, so I will expect you to appear on November the 4th with counsel. All right?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right, we'll reset your case. We'll see you then. You're free to go, Mr. Tillman. All right, the case of Travarius Murray. Mr. Murray is holding, and you wish to represent yourself today.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not wish to have the services of the Public Defender's Office.
Man, I think I made too much money. I don't think they'll approve me.
All right. Whose case is this for the state? For the state, Mr. Murray's case is position 4 on the Orca C show cause, case number 19 CR 007166F, in which defendant is charged with willful obstruction with the offense date of October 24th of 2018. Is this Ms. Githier or Ms. Marshall Story?
It's my case, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Marshall Story, is there an offer at this time?
Your Honor, I don't have an offer at this time. I can go into a breakout and have a conversation with Mr. Murray based on the charges. Hopefully, we can come to a resolution.
I think that would be most wise at this point. Mr. Murray, I'm gonna ask that the Zoom host conference host will place you in a breakout with Ms. Marshall Story. What I don't want you to do is give her your defenses. What I'd like you to do is just speak generally about the offer that she may have for you. What I don't want you to do is infringe upon your right to remain silent. Again, she is the state and could add potentially additional charges. So just listen and speak with her regarding the offer. All right?
Yeah, ma'am.
All right. If they could be placed in a breakout, I would appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall Story. Appreciate that. She can, yeah, but the only thing she can, I mean,
For every.
All right, Mr. Corn, are you ready on Mr. Everhart's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you've received the plea paperwork from Ms. Riley.
And I've sent it back.
All right. We're
And
gonna go ahead.
I apologize to perfect the record on the plea and verdict form. There was an incorrect name. And I have asked Ms. Bolton or the court to strike through that and put the correct name with my express permission.
It's misspelled or it's just the wrong person?
It is the wrong person, Your Honor.
Okay, wrong person entirely. Okay.
Oh, Carlton Cuthbert, yes. No, I don't know him.
We'll move forward. We're taking the plea in the case of 19 CR 006701F. Mr. Everhart is charged with theft by taking with the offense date of March the 1st of 2018. Ms. Riley, if you would please give us the state's position regarding the offer here, as well as a limited factual basis.
Yes, Your Honor. As the court stated on March 1st, 2018, officers responded to the UPS store at 27 Marvin Miller Drive in Fulton County, reference to a theft of a package. Upon arrival, they spoke with security who had observed an employee on the closed circuit television taking packages in which they saw the shape of a box in his clothing. When they removed the box, they found a Samsung Galaxy Note 8 and an Apple Watch Series 3. Both items were returned to the store. The state's recommendation in this case is 12 months probation and attend a theft class, and have no objection, Your Honor, to early termination upon completion.
All right. Mr. Corbin, is that your understanding of the offer, and do you so stipulate to the factual basis ID ambiguous in this case?
That is my understanding of the agreement, and we would so stipulate.
All right, thank you. Mr. Everhart, I'm going to ask you some questions to make sure this is a voluntary plea. Please raise your right hand. You swear and affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can put your hand down. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, I am.
Did anyone force or coerce you into taking a plea today?
No.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No.
And you understand that if you take a plea today, you'll have no further court dates regarding this and no further opportunity to dispute the charges against you?
Yes, I do.
And you're prepared to give up your right to a court date?
Yes.
All right, and you understand that you have to take theft class as part of your probation?
Yes, I do.
All right, as to the charge of theft by taking, Mr. Everhart, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. If there's nothing further from the state of defense, that will conclude Mr. Everhart's case. And have we gotten his paperwork such that he's free to go?
Free to go.
Oh, 1 second, Ms. Everhart, I want to make sure we have your paperwork. Mr. Corn, you said you sent the paperwork back to
I sent it to Ms. Riley and to Ms.
Bolton.
Bolton, yes. Okay, yeah.
Once Ms. Bolton confirms we have it, Ms. Everhart, you'll be free to go. So hold one moment
Okay.
for us, please. Mr. Trejo, you have an announcement?
Yes, Your Honor. So I've spoken with Ms. Gutierrez this morning, and there is some additional discovery available in this case. I've spoken with my client about what we've received thus far and his intentions. We would, at this point, like to be placed on the next calendar in the first week of November, just to give us some more time to review that last bit of discovery and make a fully informed decision before we proceed.
All right, Mr. Trejo, please remind me again as to who you represent.
Darius Mullen, Your Honor. He's, I believe, position 16 on the Orca.
Status, yes,
Yes, ma'am.
that's correct.
That's
All
right,
right.
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Mullen's case will be so reset to the November 4th Orca status, and it's our hope that we'll be able to resolve that case in a plea at that time. All right.
And we'll be there on the 4th.
All right, Mr. Trejo, does that conclude your business with the court today?
It does, Your Honor.
You and your client are both free to go. We'll see you on November the 4th.
Great. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, I believe we have Mr. Everhart's paperwork. So Mr. Everhart is now free to go.
Okay.
All right. We still have to do position 15 once Ms. Marcia Stewart returns.
Your Honor, would you like for me to white this out or cross it out?
No objection to either fit to resolve that issue. All right, so we're holding on all Ms. Marshall Stewart's cases.
But I do for the defendants. As far as these two.
Okay, it came through.
Yes.
Why does it print one side really large? Have you noticed? All right, Ms. Marshall Stewart, is there an announcement? You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor. I have had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Murray, and we have worked out a plea agreement. And that plea agreement, for the record, is a no-low plea to the willful obstruction of law enforcement. And Your Honor, the defendant served 48 hours in jail, so that would be credit for time served. And he would need to complete 40 hours of community service. He was able to express some concerns that the state will take into consideration. So those 40 hours of community service will need to be completed prior to the next adjourn date.
All right, so to clarify, he's asking for a reset of this case, and then he's gonna come back to court, take the plea, having shown proof of the community service.
That's correct. And I have made it clear, he knows that he's got to send me the certificate of those 40 hours prior to, I'm guessing that'll be the 11/4 adjourn date.
40 hours of community service, Ms. Marshall's story is, that's almost I'm trying to give him enough time so we don't set him up for failure in our reset.
Oh, that's fine, Your Honor. We can definitely, I have no problems extending that. I just wanted to make sure that Mr. Murray was clear that in order for him to not go on to probation, that he would have had to complete that prior to the plea.
All right. I agree with that. That makes good sense. What we'll do is, Mr. Murray, that we're asking for a significant amount of community service here, a whole week. So do you understand that's what you're being asked to complete before your reset date? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there, Ms. Bolton, is there a date in December? I know we haven't generated December calendar yet, but I would like to give Mr. Murray the best chance to be able to complete this. And Mr. Murray, because this is a plea and you're not represented, you're gonna need to come down here to complete your plea paperwork in person. Are you gonna be able to do that?
Is that today or is that coming
No,
back?
no, whenever I reset you to, you'll need to come in person. Are you gonna be able to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one moment, Your Honor. One moment, Mr. Murray.
Ms. Erica, I sent you the email. I was still waiting for your email address. I did chat you though.
Okay. I
see
see that. I'm sending it right now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Murray, we will reset your case of the December 2nd Orca status calendar. In order for you to avoid probation, you'll have to show the court and the state proof of that service before or at that time. All right?
Yeah,
and you'll need to come in person to take your plea.
December 2nd at what time now?
It should be 9 a.m., but you'll receive a notice just like you received one for today.
Yeah, no.
And Your Honor, I have Mr. Murray's email. And Mr. Murray, I have just forwarded you my email so that you can send me that certificate once you complete it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Murray, and once you, Ms. Marshall Story, you have all his information?
I
So
do.
free to go. All right, Mr. Murray, you are free to go. We will see you back here on December the 2nd, all right?
Thank you so much, man. You be blessed.
All right, take care. Have a good day. Let's return to the case of Kimberly McNeil, case 19 CR 006840F, in which defendant is charged with criminal trespass with the offense date of March the 6th of 2019. Ms. Marshall Story, is there an offer on this case at this time?
Your Honor, which calendar?
I'm sorry, Orca C status, position 15.
Position 15.
I'm sorry, yes, position 15 on the C status.
Oh, okay.
That is
I
my
believe that's
case.
Miss Githie's
That is
case.
my
Oh, it's Ms.
Your Honor.
Githie's case. I apologize. Ms. Githie, is there an offer at this time?
Yes, 12 months probation, $200 restitution, 30 hours of community service and alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment.
Ms. McNeil, is that an offer you're interested in considering at this time? Is that an offer that you're interested in considering at this time?
Yes.
All right, do you wish to hire an attorney?
Well, sure will.
All right, what we don't want is you continue to reset your case, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset your case to the November 4th calendar. Did you inquire as to whether you qualified?
No.
For the purposes of the public defender, you didn't wanna, follow up with them?
I could do that.
All right.
But it's
Mr.
better than-
Randolph,
Yeah.
Fill that out, see if you qualify very quickly. All right, once we complete Ms. McNeil and, Mr. Raffo. I believe we've completed the entire calendar.
I think we still need,
Oh, we're still holding on Elizabeth Randall.
I just tried to call her and I didn't get her, but I did talk to her this morning. She wants a jury trial.
All right, we will reset Ms. Randall's case for the notice to the division judge for jury trial.
Your Honor, that's Orca E.
I believe so, yes. Yes, position 9 or 8 for the trial. All right, does that conclude the entire calendar? Is there anyone else? Once we have heard from Ms. McNeil, we'll be all those who are not related to that case, who wish to be in other places are free to go. Otherwise, we can hold for the reconciliation of the calendar. But we'll be in a brief recess. Thank you. On the Orca show cause calendar, position 5, Takia Stiff, I'd like to get a date position regarding a debt docket.
Your Honor, the state does not oppose a dead docket. Is there additional information that the court needs?
Perhaps the facts and defendant's history very briefly, if you have it, Ms. Marshall Story.
Yes, ma'am. I just need to go into Odyssey and pull that up.
All right, very quickly, just want to see if the dead docket is appropriate.
Yes, I consent.
All right. Position 5 is. And I also like the state's position regarding position 1 on the show cause. Portia Johnson, 19 CR 004783F.
Yes, Your Honor, give me just a moment to take a look.
Yes, please. Thank you, Ms. Riley.
You're welcome. Your Honor, Ms. Johnson does have 9 cycles, including theft by shoplifting, criminal trespass, aggravated assault, a obstruction in 2017. So the state would ask for a bench warrant in this case, Your Honor.
Ms. Riley, will you give me the facts of this particular case if you have them?
Yes, just one moment.
You can sit back. Hold on. Can you sign? You can come up here and sign. Oh, here.
So it appears that Ms. Johnson gave false information to officers concerning the identity of a shooting suspect when she was interviewed by the detectives.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Riley.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Ms. Riley, if you'd also give me the state's position for position 2, if this is your case, Jonica Jones.
Yes, it is. And
sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, Your Honor, it appears that this was a dual arrest. Both parties were arrested. And she has 7 cycles on her history. A previous simple battery that was null-prossed. A reckless conduct. Unauthorized possession of a firearm that was null-prossed. A simple battery arrest in 2019. So after this offense. And would you like the facts of this?
Yes.
incident?
Yes, please.
Sure. Looks like officers were called out to the location. They spoke with Ms. Jones first, and she said she had been in an altercation with her ex-boyfriend. Ms. Jones had superficial scratches on her arm and chest. And she had told the officers that her and Mr. Hill had been fighting all day. It started earlier at a different location. And he also had a couple of scratches on his arm. Both parties accused each other of throwing their personal belongings out of the home.
Okay. That's sufficient. Thank you, Ms. Wright. The last, I'm gonna think about it. The last case I'd like to hear the state's position regarding the debt docket is the case of Dimitri Whitaker, position 7 on the show cause calendar, 19 CR 0068885F.
Your Honor, Mr. Whitaker has 28 cycles, including one was the sale of cocaine and theft of taking. And in this case at hand, the officers were executing a search warrant, and Mr. Whitaker refused to come outside of the home after giving several verbal commands to come out. And when the officers went in, he resisted arrest.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Raffo, do we have an announcement regarding?
Yes.
Mr. Hill's case?
She does qualify. I'd ask for a reset till November the 4th.
All right. We will so reset Ms. McNeil's case to the November 4th status. This my hopes we'll be able to resolve it at that time. All right, does that conclude the entire calendar?
Okay, you get another one, November the 4th. Hold on.
I believe it does. Based upon the information before me, I will be dead docketing position 5. I believe that's the only other position. The other position will be reported as an FTA. I will take into consideration whether or not bench warrants will issue. All right, should we review the calendar?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right, can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with Orca C final plea. Position 1, jury trial requested. Position 2 was a plea. Position 3, jury trial. Position 4 was a plea. Orca C show cause, position 1, FTA, 2 FTA, 3 FTA, 4 reset, December 2nd. Position 5, dead docket, position 6, reset, November 4th, position 7, FTA. Orca C status conference, position 1, plea, position 2, reset, 11-4, position 3, reset, 11-4, position 4, reset, 11-4, position 5, reset, 11-4, position 6, reset further notice, Position 7, reset 11-4. Position 8, reset 11-4. Position 9, reset 11-4. Positions 10, 11, and 12 are FTAs. Position 13, reset 11-4. Position 14, jury trial requested. Position 15, reset 11-4. Position 16, reset 11-4. And position 17 was a plea.
I'm sorry, can you repeat position 13?
Oh, sorry, my apologies. Reset 11-4.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Position 14 was a jury trial.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
And on the Brogdon case, position 6, you said reset further notice?
Correct. Unless you have some information regarding the status of the defendant being incarcerated.
Okay.
Do you guys, does any of the SGAs have updated information? Because it was a possible out-of-state incarceration announcement made on last court date.
I don't have anything updated to add. And he's not represented by anyone,
Not based on my knowledge, no.
so we don't know where that information came from that he was possibly incarcerated.
Correct.
Okay. I'll see what I can find out.
I may be getting this wrong, but I feel like there was someone who did make that announcement last time, perhaps by an Odyssey check or something. I don't believe it came out of thin air. I do remember hearing that, but again, I don't have my notes from last Orca.
Okay,
So,
no,
if we can ascertain whether or not he is incarcerated, the only option I believe we would have would be to reset him further notice to a division judge for further adjudication. But what we could do is let's still reset it to another Orca for now and see if we can ascertain that information. All right.
The Orca E the Orca E status conference calendar, position number 1, reset for November the 18th for a bench trial. Position number 2 was reset for November the 4th. Position number 3 was reset for November the 4th. Position number 4 and 5 both requested a jury trial. Position number 6 was a guilty plea. Position number 7 was reset for November the 4th. Position number 8 reset for November the 4th. Position number 9 requested a jury trial, and position number 10 was non-pros.
Any comments, changes, corrections, questions, or other outstanding matters? All right, hearing none, we'll be in recess for the next Orca status conference. I believe that calendar will be held on Wednesday, October the 11th. I'm not sure.
No.
I never get that right. October the 12th will be in recess until that time. I believe that I'm unless state advises me now otherwise, I'm going to assume that bench warrants are requested for all FTAs. I am going to look into this with the clerk to see if notices were returned and make decisions following the conclusion of this calendar. But the state's position regarding FTAs is noted unless there's any specific position in which the state is not requesting an FTA. All right, hearing none. Everyone take care. Have a great Friday and rest of your weekend. See everyone soon.
Well, Judge.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You'll join me on Friday. Take care.